Let's see if this works. It does. Okay, cool. So let's see. Let's go YouTube. Let's go YouTube real quick. Let's let everybody know. Come on, let me in. View your channel. We're live. Tap in. Let's see, let's do this. Bam. Starting soon. Okay. Your videos. Live. Get shareable link. Okay, cool. All right, all right. Yo, yo, yo. Is my mic working good? Hey, Addy, let me know if my mic's working good. I'm going to grab a snack real quick. I will be right back. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. What up, y'all? What's poppin'? We're here. We're here. What up in the chat, guys? Can y'all hear me okay? Oh, he said it's working well, bro. Thank you, Addy, for the feedback. Hey, listen. So what we're about to do is I'm gonna play Wheel of Fragrance, and I'm gonna play it with the chat. That's what's gonna be different. Wheel of Fragrance is, for those of you who aren't tapped into my channel and everything, this is the scent bubble where we talk about my fragrance journey and everything that I've gathered in terms of resources, information, buyer's guide type stuff for all of your fragrance, mostly male fragrances, but we do cover quite a wide range of unisex fragrances. So I've been tapping into my analytics recently and seeing that at least about close to 10% of my audience is women. So I look at that as it's either women who are trying to buy fragrances for their man, or because we cover unisex fragrances a lot, women are tapped into that side of the content. But I've started slowly with my topic of hot takes, which is where we go into your local retailers and check out fragrances live and give a quick snapshot of whether or not the fragrance is good or not on like the top 100 fragrances that women encounter. I've started including female fragrances in that lineup. As you guys saw recently, we covered Billie Eilish's Eilish #1 gold bottle. So we'll be including some more female fragrances here and there. We'll absolutely be covering a wide range of unisex fragrances, since they are, in my opinion, still in the bubble of masculine fragrances. If a man can wear it, I will talk about it. But I will start to probably trickle in about 10 to 20% of my content being women favored for female fragrances, both for the sake of men who might be interested in getting something for their girl, or even women who are interested in my channel that would like to have some content that touches on some things they might be interested in exclusively, not just for their man. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Wheel of Fragrance by myself. Anyone who's tapped into the chat at any point in time is more than welcome to join me. So for instance, if I roll software developer, like you guys see here, I will have to go pick a fragrance in my collection that I think best suits a software developer. You can feel free in the chat to put a fragrance that you think would be best for a software developer. We can pull it up here on Fragrantica and we can chat about it. So without further ado, as always, you guys can see right there is my little fragrance bottle that says questions ask away. So at any point in time, the main goal of these lives is to simply answer questions about fragrance that you might have. Fragrances for occasions, maybe a fragrance you've purchased you want an opinion on, holidays coming up. Anything fragrance related, feel free to ask in the chat, and if I feel it's relevant, I will answer it. This is a Q&A live stream. We offset that with some entertainment value by doing Wheel of Fragrance live. That way I'm not just sitting here. Sometimes the questions flood the chat so crazy, I have absolutely no time to play my game show, and we are just answering questions all day. But very occasionally, more towards the beginning of the live stream and the end, the chat might be a little bit dead where we're only getting a few questions here or there. That would be a great time for us to spin the Wheel of Fragrance, introduce you guys to my new game show that we've been, any of our subscribers know this game show very well, because typically I bring on a co-host who is a popular fragrance connoisseur or enthusiast from the YouTube community, and I let them play the game show while I kind of grill them and host it. But for here, we're all going to play it together. So again, as I spin these, feel free to put your answers in the chat. I'd love to hear your guys' suggestions. This Wheel of Fragrance tonight will be job edition. So I have over maybe about 30 to 40 different jobs, and I tried to range them from normal to weird so that we can get creative in our bag of fragrances. I'm sitting on about 300 fragrances in my collection currently, with about 100 to 150 samples. So if I feel the need to actually grab the bottle, we will. But more importantly, I'm going to pull it up on Fragrantica so we can quickly glance at the notes, see the price, etc. So without further ado, I appreciate you guys so much for being involved in the chat. Let's go ahead and run ourselves a Wheel of Fragrance. Fendi, I have not smelled Ocean Noir by Michael Malou. Is that fragrance in Burlington? Because I think I might have seen it recently. I'm not sure. So we've rolled Naturopathic Doctor. So this isn't your typical doctor. This is a doctor who's in the field of medicine, but more of holistic medicine, herbs, plants, vitamins, minerals, things like that. So this guy's going to want a fragrance that is as natural leaning as possible. And looking at my fragrance collection, I've got the perfect fragrance for him. This actually happens to be one of my top 5, in my opinion, best. I've got fragrances both that way and that way and that way. So I'm just trying to remember what I have, but I've got a good fragrance in mind. So the fragrance that I'm going to pick for you guys is Amir Celestial. this is not a stranger fragrance to the channel. You guys, anyone who's subscribed knows this is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. By the way, just like Addie did, put your guys' recommendations for the best fragrance for a naturopathic doctor in the chat, and we'll go over those as well. I want this to be interactive. So, Perfumania is a store, Fendi. Is Perfumania the only place that carry? We do have one of those. It's at our mall here in Arizona, but I've seen a couple of fragrances that say Ocean Noir recently for the holidays. So I was just curious if it was in, Ross, TJ Maxx, Burlington, or any of those, because I would love to check it out. But again, Celestial by Paris Corner. What I love about this fragrance is it's so natural. The driving notes of this fragrance are this mineralic note. I almost liken it to like a bunch of fresh rocks under like some mineral water or spring water. That violet leaf is what separates it from its original inspiration of Ganymede. Ganymede is not very heavy on the violet leaf, so it's a less sweet fragrance. It leans more on the mineral note and suede, and a little bit of floral for freshness. Whereas in Celestial, I think it's the more commercial fragrance because violet leaf has ramped up the sweetness. So on the sweetness meter with Ganymede, it's probably about a level 1 out of 10 in sweetness. Celestial takes it up to about a 4. Again, it's not overly sweet. It's not even mid-range sweet, but it comparatively to Ganymede, it smells a lot sweeter. But I think it's like just enough sweetness to make it a lot more versatile as a fragrance. Some people don't like smelling completely natural. They want to have some synthetic to it. So the sweet definitely doesn't smell fake, but you can definitely tell that it's, some synthetic violet leaf in there. But I think the fragrance just smells heavenly. This fragrance smells like you got to Heaven's Gates and you're wearing your best outfit on as you pass through Heaven's Gates. So because of the natural notes of, mineral, suede, I consider natural because it can be animalic, even though this suede is a fresh, clean cut suede, and violet leaf. It's such floral mix in here. I think this would be a naturopathic doctor's kind of charming fragrance, not necessarily their crunchy, supernatural hippie fragrance. H24 by Hermes. I like that. Let's pull that up. I like that fragrance too, because I like that as a choice because, hold on. H24 Hermes Fragrantica. Sometimes you got to type it like an idiot because it won't find it. I like this fragrance for a naturopath doctor. It's not the most natural smell. Does this have ylang-ylang in it? Oh no, narcissus. Yeah, there's like this intriguing note in this, almost like bananas, that is just like a super sweet floral. But I like this choice for a naturopathic doctor because Hermes fragrances tend to lean, I don't want to say, I think natural's the right word, right? A lot of green and florals. Yeah, so that's got to be natural. It might lean towards a dominant note, but the base of most Hermes fragrances is going to be green and florals, at least in my experience. Eau Sauvage, Eau Givre, H24, Terre de Hermes, EDT through Parfum. So I think that falls right in line with a naturopathic doctor for sure. Shout outs to everybody in the chat. Addie, 1954, Fendi, MTTW, Ricky Bobby, The Guy, Fendi, I think I might have already said that, Brian, Jesse, Riley, Bella, Crazy 40, Joel, nice regular here. Joel, appreciate you for tuning in. Shout outs to Joel. He's always a good contributor when we go live. But yeah, I think shout outs to Addie for the H24 suggestion. I think that was a good choice. Do you have, let's see, put user in timeout. So, mods, I know you see a couple of ding dongs in the chat trying to be cool. just go ahead and regulate. I know at first you were doing the removal of message, but just feel free to time these guys out. Give them, throw the babies in timeout for me. Appreciate you. Can I have a shout out? Riley, happy birthday. Bella, appreciate you supporting fellow chatters. Yeah, Bella, I would keep using Febreze if I were you. It's gonna do you well. You're gonna smell fresh. You're not gonna go on very many dates, but you're gonna make your cat really love you. Do you know which cologne comes in a blue bottle that looks like a fist? Well, let's just see if Google knows. Blue fist bottle fragrance. Diesel. Yep. Diesel, the only brave eau de cologne. I don't even think Fragrantica carries that. Diesel only the brave Fragrantica. You guys know what fragrance, actually in the chat right now, I want to know what fragrance have you guys been seeing, or what are the frags you guys have been seeing in the Burlington, Ross, TJ Maxx, and even the retail stores. What are some fragrances that you guys have been seeing that have been shocking you? There's been a lot of hitters. I've been seeing all the Drakkar Noir, or the Drakkar fragrances. One of the three is always in there, but I've seen Drakkar Noir, and Drakkar Intense. I've seen some True Religion. I've seen some H24. I've seen Lattafa Camra. I've seen Lattafa Kawa. I've seen Bentley for Men Regular, Bentley for Men Intense, Bentley for Men Black Edition, and Bentley for Men Absolute. What else have I seen? Today I saw Boss Bottled Intense in Ross and in Burlington. I smelled some True Religion, like the standard eau de toilette today, that I actually was really enjoying. I couldn't find it anywhere, but I smelled it in a JCPenney. I was like, I see True Religion a lot. Let me smell the original. And it blew my mind. I thought it was like a super dope, versatile, had a little signature to it too. I might have to go cop that and review it. I also did a hot take recently on Drakkar Intense, which is supposed to be a more modern spin-off to, in my opinion, both Drakkar Noir and Drakkar. I've smelled those in the long past, but recently I just re-put my nose back to Drakkar Noir last week and Drakkar Regular. And Drakkar Intense, I feel, for the people who like Drakkar fragrances, that kind of real clean, slightly sophisticated fougere, I think Drakkar Intense spins the fragrance off enough to where it's still tried and true classic fougere, but I think it's so fresh that it's actually modern. I don't feel like it could go well on an old man, but if you're 30 and up, I think that fragrance actually goes really crazy on a man today because of this like ambery, slightly boozy sweetness that they've added. It's really reminiscent of Bentley for Men Intense, but it's not as intense. Like, to me, Bentley for Men is like almost either an acquired taste, or either you love it or you don't. It's very boozy. Like, it takes the rum, it puts the ooze in boozy. It's like whatever Bentley Intense was as an original formulation, the guy just took a bucket of booze and said more booze and just doused it. So to me, Drakkar Intense is what Bentley for Men Intense is before all the booze gets introduced. It's slightly boozy, but more balanced as a fragrance. I think Drakkar Intense is going to be your more modern hybrid fougere with a perfect booze balance that Bentley for Men Intense doesn't have. But I think because it's so intense on Bentley for Men Intense, the people that like it absolutely love it. And the people that are on the fence about it can't wear it because the intensity of it makes it too circumstantial for them in their mind. They don't really see a use case for it. Did you ever try oud? I don't know if you're mentioning that as a fragrance or just oud itself as a note. So let me know, crazy, in the chat. Scent of the day, Arabian oud, majestic, woody, intense. I feel like, do you wear that often, Joel? Because I feel like I've seen you recommend that more than once. Is that just one of your go-to fragrances that you love? Let me know in the chat. We're about to go to our new spin here. Let me just check out the chat a little bit more. Only the Brave. Okay, so let's see if... So a citrus and amber. Lemon, orange, violet, cedar, coriander, amber, leather, benzoin. You know what this fragrance looks like? It looks like Bentley... Or no, it looks like Mercedes-Benz. Let's look at Mercedes-Benz OG. Citrus woody, citrus woody. Yes. I would reckon, MTTW, that if you like only Brave, you will really, 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 really like this more because of the projection and performance. Don't get this one though if you like it. Like if you really love only the Brave, instead of getting the original Mercedes-Benz, which has a very similar note profile, lemon, orange, violet leaf, some kind of spice, woods on the bottom. Bentley for Men, or Mercedes-Benz Intense is going to be insane. This right here for a woody citrus fragrance, notice very similar. And even though Diesel says amber, trust me, when you put this to skin, it will have an ambery sweet feel. But notice it's got the same profile, but the bourbon vetiver and violet leaf combo with the citruses on here is so insane. And you're going to get a lot more projection and performance out of a fragrance like this. You know, like 5 sprays is going to take you almost the entire day. But it's got this crazy ability to smell so fresh, like you could run errands in it. But then when you go to work, it dresses up with you. Like it's so sophisticated. You'll smell like a young CEO, like a 20, 30-year-old CEO with $10 million in his bank account. Like, it is the most versatile fragrance that you can find in a rack store, a Ross, anywhere online. You can get it for like 20, 30 bucks. You can get 200 ml. If you just want a regular large bottle, it'll cost you 20 bucks. This right here, if you like the Diesel, that sounded crazy. Pause. If you like only the Brave, you will absolutely, this fragrance right here, Mercedes-Benz Intense, will absolutely knock your socks off. It'll resemble the fragrance you already love, but it'll take it to another level, be a lot more versatile, but more importantly, it'll have a ton more performance for you guys. What's good, Kicks? Griffey, what's poppin'? Jacob, what's poppin'? We're going to, listen, guys, I want you guys to join in on me. We're going to play this Wheel of Fragrance together. I'm going to show you guys how to play it with me in just a second. Appreciate you, MTTW, for the subscribe, man. Trust me, you won't regret it, man. We drop fragrance review content and resources, free resources and content every single day of the week, at least 7 long-form pieces of content a week. You will absolutely have a good time on this channel. This channel has grown really fast. In just 2 months, we'll probably hit our 1,000 subscriber. We might even hit it tonight, guys. I mean, we could do it. Make sure that you like. If you're new, make sure that you guys subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Thank you, mods. Appreciate the timeout. Okay. Oh, oud note. Yeah, of course. I've tried oud. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't really want to just kind of freestyle speak about oud. Oud is like vetiver. You know what I'm saying? It has such a crazy range of variety in the note itself, you know, from fresh to absolutely funky poop in your pants diaper. that you really need to, it's almost like a note you need to study. Like it's like the wine you don't buy at your local grocery store. You know what I'm saying? When you have to go to an actual wine place and you really know your wine and you start enjoying different nuances in wine, so much so that like when you taste wine, you know, oh, this is black currant and oh, this is chocolate, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's like that. Like oud can get really disgusting really fast, and only if you know the different nuances of oud can you actually appreciate it. I'll be quite honest with you. I appreciate oud, but very quickly oud can piss me off. So it's like when I think of a clean, fresh oud, you know, I think of something like, you know, oud for greatness, oud for glory. Um, this is a clean oud to me. It just barely starts to go animalic funk, but that barely makes it more mysterious and almost has a freshness to it. This is like your Great Gatsby fragrance. I just think this is like what Leonardo DiCaprio would have wore on The Great Gatsby, you know, like a sexy older man, but he's young. He gets all the women because he's so mysterious. You never know what to expect. Lastly, my advice on red tobacco. I hate red tobacco. I hate all of the clones of red tobacco, and I hate Mancera's red tobacco. I just feel the red note is borderline cat piss. It's like cat urine mixed with a Wrigley's stick of red, what is it? Wrigley's red gum. Red tobacco is if a cat took a piss on a fresh stick of Big Red Wrigley's gum. It's like you almost love it, but then you really hate it because it smells like urine. The note is too synthetic in red tobacco. Mancera's red tobacco is the best rendition of a red tobacco fragrance, in my opinion, but it still is like too much synthetic sweet red. I like what they're trying to go for, but it's too sweet. They should have dialed that sweet back and made it more tobacco, made the tobacco the star of the show, like a smooth pipe tobacco, and let the red sweet play the background. Instead, they've got red sweet playing the foreground with like this musty, dusty tobacco in the background. And it just makes for like, it's like a contrast between like, you know, a cowboy and an edgy motorcycle rider would love a red tobacco fragrance if you said it out loud. But if you gave it to him, he would be expecting to have a super tobacco fragrance with a touch of red sweet. And instead you gave him a boy toy version of it by making this super sweet red fragrance and just sprinkling like 3 flakes of tobacco on it. It's just poorly done. And in fact, it's so bad. Like, you know how I knew Mancera's red tobacco was bad? When not only did I see 10 different clones of it in TJ Maxx, but every red tobacco clone smells the same. No nuance at all. And every red tobacco clone is like 80% or better close to Mancera. When you can get a fragrance profile that basic and match it every single time between every $10, you know, clone house, I don't know. But, you know, I digress because I have a fragrance over here that I'm going to talk about soon that I found at TJ Maxx for like $8, 100 ml, that might single-handedly be the best Dior Homme Intense clone I've ever seen. And if it doesn't beat out, it 100% matches clones such as, and again, we're talking DHI, not DHP, matches fragrances like Camaro Homme Intense, or one that I just got recently, Cayenne Classic, which is another beautiful clone of Dior Homme Intense. It holds a candle to that. And since you guys are tuning in, appreciate mods for the timeout, putting the babies in the timeout. Since you guys are on the chat, I'm going to share it with you. Nope, this isn't it. This is my Givenchy Gentleman Privé clone that I just picked up. Amazing. Right here. This is from the house of Privé, and it is Illusion Intense by Privé. Look at that bottle. As soon as I saw this, I had to at least smell it, and since it was out in the open, I didn't have to buy it. I sprayed this one time. Matter of fact, let me get my spray on right now. This fragrance shocked me. When you know, I've been doing a fragrance thing for quite some time now. You lose faith in fragrances under $15 most of the time. I sprayed this in the air just because I'm such a fan of Dior Homme Intense. Even if this fragrance sucked, I had to at least smell this. I took one spray of this and I said to myself, oh my gosh. Dude, like at least 90% spot. I mean, when you smell this, you'll say it's Dior Homme Intense without question. But if I'm being ultra technical on a composition quality control standpoint, I got to call it a 9. But this 100% is Dior Homme Intense 2020. And the crazy part about it is it's like $9 for 100 ml. So then I had to try and discount it. I had to try and say like, oh, well, the longevity probably is nowhere near the original or a lot of the clones. In fact, I have almost every clone of Dior Homme Intense right here beside me. So then I said to myself, well, this probably has no performance, right? No. 10 hours plus performance. $8. Privé Illusion Intense. Bought it immediately. I could not even believe. And I have so many DHI and DHP clones. You know, we're going to talk about a ton of them, you know, trust me. On future episodes. Let me take this off. Okay. All right, let's continue, guys. I know we've got some guys in the chat. Let's go on to our game show. We're out of questions for right now. I mean, Addy, if you want a mysterious one, the Oud for Glory is amazing for that. For Oud for Glory, I mean, I would imagine you already know this fragrance since you're tapped into the channel, but this is the best, like, mystery sophisticated man fragrance on the planet. Like, this is the foundation of all mystery man fragrance. Right there, $25 on Amazon. Lattafa's Boreal Oud for Glory. Just type Oud for Glory on my YouTube channel and look at my review on it. It's incredible. Oh. Excuse me, guys. Okay, McDonald's employee. Sound off in the chat. What fragrance would a McDonald's employee get? Let's see. I got to go look in my collection. I'm going to go look in my collection, you guys. Make sure you sound off with your questions in the chat and pick a fragrance you think would go best for a McDonald's employee. This is a good one. Okay, so oh, you know another mystery fragrance that you would absolutely love, Addy? This is actually in Burlington. I'm not sure where you're from, but this has been in Burlington right now for $25. Online, it's about 20 to 25 bucks. Absolute steal. This Bentley for Men Absolute, completely black, jet black bottle. This right here, yo, clean, one of the best clean woody fragrances I've ever had, but it has a note of incense in it. And that incense is like a dark incense, super like seductive mystery man on dry woods. It is as at my age, that fragrance right there is hard to beat. Okay, so what are your guys' picks for the McDonald's employee? Master Hand says Nautica Voyage. I think so. You know, not, the guy that's at McDonald's is going to go to Ross. He'll definitely, if he's trying to smell good on a budget, he's going to have some Nautica Voyage for sure. That's a great safe pick. I took it a step further, and I chose Banana Republic's 90 Pure White as kind of a joke, because if you're in a McDonald's, you're seeing fake ingredients all day long. You're seeing fake patties, fake cheese, you know, French fries that you could smoke with a lighter. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be in such a dirty environment. You are going to want to smell like clean, fresh linen, so that you feel like you're at least can maintain your cleanliness inside of this shop. Fresh, clean linen with a little dryer sheet in it, and some florals, very light, mostly just a clean linen fragrance, super safe to just smell clean, slightly sweet, slightly floral. You know, that dryer sheet feel when you get out of the, when you have like, not a super Febreze dryer sheet, but just like a decent little dryer sheet, your fresh laundry, fresh towels out of the dryer, but you're outside when you do it, because this has like a aromatic outside freshness to it. If I had to work at McDonald's and go back in time, I would wear 90 Pure White to purify myself from that environment. Master Hand or Master Han, when you said, what about Encre Noir in that sense? What do you mean by that sense? Are you still on that mystery conversation? Just let me know. I'll clarify for sure. We're going to go ahead and get another spin in. See, Addy, I think the McDonald's employee absolutely would rock Risasi Huas for sure, because he would have access to it, and he would probably see that fragrance online, you know, marketed to him. I don't know about YSLY. YSLY, you got to put some respect on YSLY's name. YSLY is adored in the fragrance community as a really good, ageless, seductive fragrance. And I think if you wore YSLY in a McDonald's, they would wonder why you're working at the McDonald's. They'd be like, shouldn't you be working at like a clothing outlet or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's move on. Yeah, you know, yeah, a Cremo well, we got to put respect on Cremo fragrances too. The Cremo, see the thing about it is, Cremo gets a bad rep because of the time it's come out in. Like, you guys got to remember, and we've got Valet Parker up next. So you guys put your fragrances that you think a Valet Parker would rock. But you guys got to remember, Cremo is just has come out at a bad time, right? Because had Cremo come out during the days of why am I going blank here? What is all the body soaps? Axe body soap. If you guys remember about 20 years ago when Axe body spray and Axe body wash came out, it was revolutionary for the young kids, because young kids now, instead of wearing what is it, Allspice and, you know, things like Lever 2000 and Dove and Irish Spring, when Axe body wash hit the scene, it really made for a very like it put sexy in fragrance for body wash, and you had so many different types of body wash, and that was so cool for a young person to be able to pick 20 different flavors of body wash. The body wash looks cool, you smell like you have fragrance on, and you didn't even have to own a cologne. That was revolutionary for that time period for the young people. Cremo is Cremo is just in a bad era. If Cremo came out back then, Cremo would be for people 20 and up what Axe was for people 20 and below. It would be, every man would have every different Cremo, you know what I'm saying? Men right now have every different Cremo who don't know about fragrance. If you get into the fragrance game, you'll never buy a Cremo fragrance again in your life. But when you're just getting started in fragrance, or you don't wear fragrance, Cremo has a lot of great options. They have like bourbon vanilla. They've got like a cypress vetiver. They have sophisticated smells. They're like Axe body wash, but fougere influenced and older man influenced. So it's for the 25 and up crowd, or for the younger male who wants to smell like their younger dad. But the problem with Cremo fragrances now and Axe body wash is Axe body wash will still always appeal to the younger generation because it's made its mark and no one's really tried to compete with it. Cremo is trying to dominate a market right now where, between clone fragrances, affordable fragrances, and actual retailer designer fragrances, we are oversaturated in the market now. With the introduction of online and clone fragrance and YouTube content creators, I could take $150 and get 4 or 5 great, phenomenal fragrances that blow Cremo out of the freaking water. Now, granted, Cremo will still beat out a lot of your basic stuff like Nautica Voyage and stuff, which many people would argue Nautica Voyage would flatline any Cremo fragrance, but I'm just saying for the general public, it's just in a bad time. You know, they're designing for a demographic now that, you know, if you buy a large Cremo fragrance, you're going to spend about the cost of what it would be for 100 ml bottle that'll last you years. So it's unfortunate, you know. It's unfortunate, but I think Cremo will still serve its place because 2/3 of the world doesn't even wear fragrance. So for that community, Cremo will always be a bigger name than most fragrances because it's providing a service and a product for a large group of people who have no clue about fragrance. Gotcha. Thanks for the clarification on your name, Hand. Dark oceanic fragrance recommendations. Really, to me, bro, there's only one dark oceanic recommendation that I think is fitting, and it's going to be Acqua di Gio Profumo. You know, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there really another aquatic dark fragrance that beats this? It's still somehow oddly fresh, but due to the incense note, it's this note right here takes the Acqua di Gio DNA and darkens it up into a mystery man, but still has that aquatic, marine aquatic freshness. I would recommend try to think of a different fragrance for you, man. But to be all honest, Profumo is going to be better than almost every fragrance you can even think of, right? If you can't afford Profumo, or you don't have access to it because it's discontinued and it costs a buttload of money now, feel free to get Lattafa's Sacrat, which you can get for $20 for 100 ml. And this to me is like 95% close to Profumo. Ignore the note breakdown here. It follows Profumo to a T. It smells exactly like Profumo. It's got the projection, sillage. I don't want to say sillage. It's got the projection and longevity down. The bottle is absolutely horrendous and not indicative of Profumo at all. But hey, that's why a lot of people judge it, man. When you pull that lid off and spray it on yourself, you will go, oh my gosh, this is Acqua di Gio Profumo. How the heck does nobody know about it? And how did I only get it for 20 bucks for an extra large bottle? Thank me later. What up, Soham? A Prada fragrance. Okay, so Prada for valet. Guys, don't worry about the skip. My DSLR camera is old school, so sometimes it shudders due to the lighting, but I'm still here with you. Yeah, I still got to think of a valet fragrance. I'm going to cheat since we're talking about Acqua di Gio, and I'm going to go with straight up Acqua di Gio, Gio Armani Parfum, Eau de Parfum, actually. Because, you know, as a valet guy, yeah, it's a low-paying job, but it might not be if you're making tips. So this is going to be the fragrance that you're going to wear that's going to get you tips. For older people, it's going to be reminiscent of Gio Armani, but it's going to be fresher for the new formulation, a little greener. For the younger people, you're going to smell rich and sophisticated. So they're going to want to be around you. It's got an invigorating, classic marine aquatic DNA, but it still smells luxurious and sophisticated while being fresh. You're going to need a fresh fragrance because you're moving around, you're perspirating, you're sweating, you're parking cars, you're in a cheap jacket. So it's like when you wear this fragrance, they're going to see you rocking your little windbreaker or whatever, you know, running around like this ding dong right here. But they're going to put some respect on your name because they think that when you get off work, you're going to go put on your collared shirt and slacks and go play some golf or hit a bar, get some drinks. Acqua di Gio, Gio Armani, Eau de Parfum, super sleeper fragrance. Let's see. Prada. Yeah, Prada could go valet. I think, you know, Prada Luna Rosa Ocean, I think could be really nice. Blue Cedar and Cypress. Yeah, no, it's a good one. I used to own one Cremo fragrance, but that was like right when I got into fragrances heavy. So I forgot about it. I loved it for like 2 days. Cremo is trying to do cloned these days, though. From what I can tell, their golden amber scent is Aventus DNA. We all know spice and black vanilla is trying to be Spice Bomb. Hey, listen, man, the word clone and dupe has somewhat tarnished the community, right? Because we have a category of fragrances that now almost automatically disqualifies them in some ways from being legitimate fragrances. These fragrances come from actual houses. And let me just say this. For me personally, clones and dupes, I'm trying to go more towards the word inspired these days, because now what you have is an ignoring of the fact that most name brand houses clone each other anyway. And if they don't clone their competitors, they cloned their own formulations to put less work into their new formulations. So, you know, it sucks that when we look at Cremo, you know, it's like, I was just looking in Burlington the other day. Ed Hardy's Skull and Roses. Okay, it's a name brand fragrance. What is it cloning? What is it trying to clone? Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. I was just looking at Banana Republic's Midnight Hour, and I was like, yo, I need to pick that up. That's the only Banana Republic I don't have. Sure enough, I start looking online. What's everybody saying? Oh, this is Aventus. This is Aventus, but in the clone realm, it's like Club de Nuit Intense Man, but dialed back on the fruit or on the lemon note, so it's more wearable. And I started looking at everybody's opinions, and then I just said, screw it. I don't need another Club de Nuit Intense, but it's like, I should have gave it a shot. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's one of those things, man. Like, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I use the word clone and dupe sometimes to help you guys find content, because that's how you guys know some of these houses like Latafa and Armaf and all this. But at the end of the day, some of these fragrances are better than the originals, and they're somewhat valid. Like, unless a fragrance is completely like 85% or more shooting for a DNA, I'll just call it an inspiration. But yeah, for me, the Valet Parker is getting the Acqua di Gio Armani. I like that it's a little bit greener. I like that it's a little zestier, for lack of a better word. Fendi said, I dislike the EDP. It has a green herby nuance. Some people said like a banana smell. Let's test that. I definitely get the green. You know, when it comes to the idea of like an herbaceous green, I'm not against herbaceous green at all. Let's see if we get bananas though. You know what's crazy, Fendi? I saw a 9 a.m. dive at TJ Maxx tonight for $30, and I didn't get it because I hadn't looked at the DNA in a while. Let's see. 9 a.m. dive. Yeah, see, what scares me about this fragrance is that Off Non 9 p.m., which is a fragrance I have, is so fruity. I don't know if I can go for another fruit bomb, man. I just, when it comes to super fruity fragrances, I've been let down so much, or I just wind up getting a fragrance that's just like something I already have. What's your thoughts on it? Tell me. Let me see, Fendi. Um, yeah, I guess my opinion on it is it definitely has a green herby vibe. Um, Banana is a little bit of a stretch. I don't get banana at all. Like, I'm trying to get banana as I smell this. Like, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. I don't know. I think this is, if you're trying to wear this fragrance to have the same level of like sophistication as like the frosted Acqua di Gio Armani, um, you won't get it. This is the most casual form of Acqua di Gio, in my opinion. This has to simply be an errand runner fragrance. I wouldn't try to dress this up. If you want to dress up with Acqua di Gio, I think you have to go frosted bottle, right? Yeah, you have to go pour homme. Like, if you want the sophistication, you go pour homme. If you want the seduction with the sophistication, you go profumo. Profondo, people like it, but I don't feel like the nuance warrants a bottle. There's not enough nuance to it with me. Now that I'm smelling this, I think this version might be the least best fragrance out of the, minus Profumo. This to Profumo is going to just be a preference battle. Green herbaceous, I definitely get that here. But Pour Homme takes the cake as the most versatile. Profumo is the best to me. Then it goes this, then Profondo. But everybody has a different opinion about it. But I could definitely see how an herbaceous green zesty fragrance isn't gonna, not only is not gonna be for everybody, but it's also hard to choose a fragrance like this, especially 100 ml, if you like put it this way, if you're shopping Acqua di Gio, you want this bottle or Profumo. End of story. You must prioritize these over Profondo and over EDP. So it's kind of hard to get to this. Like why would you even want it? For me, it's a preference thing for a certain season, for a certain time of the year that I don't have. Yeah, I don't get it, Fendi. I don't. The thing is like you got to make sure that you smell this fragrance on skin, like you let it react with either clothes or skin. If you're getting like a polish acetone or like a current smell, you might just have to put it on skin, because I don't get it on skin. I could see how you might think that on a test strip, but to me, it's the same way that you might smell alcohol on the initial blast of a fragrance. On dry down, it's virtually impossible to still get that, in my opinion. But to each his own. But I appreciate you sharing that feedback, because I have heard some of that as well. You won't catch me hating on clones unless it's unbelievably trashy in that it looks like a counterfeit or is opposed to a clone, which is a whole nother conversation. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, I'm gonna do an episode on this soon, but like, look at this fragrance, right? I'm not gonna show you guys the label. All you guys in the chat right now, this is a clone fragrance, okay? Can I move back? Just judging by the juice, the gradient of the bottle, what do you guys think this is a clone of? Ignore the silver. So we got this brown fades to dark brown juice. It's a seductive fragrance. And I'll give you a hint, it's got iris in it as one of the star notes. What fragrance is this? Put it in the chat. I got a sample EDP and Parfum. I chose the Parfum. If I initially smelled the EDP, I probably would have never tried the rest of the line. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that for sure, because there's just no draw to the line. I always tell people, smell Profumo first, smell OG second, smell Profondo, and the other one last. You got to remember, if you're not like me and you don't own, 300 fragrances, this makes no sense at all of a purchase. Because you're buying fragrances that, if you have 10 or less fragrances or so, you're buying fragrances that do a very specific thing for you, and typically you have versatility in mind in that as well. This is, in that case, it limits your ability to pretty much only go with, the top used fragrances when you think of stuff. Givenchy, Gucci Guilty, Dior Sauvage Elixir, Acqua di Gio, OG, stuff like that. You can't really get in the realm of buying a fragrance for the sake of a particular vibe or a particular feel, because you're not going to drop the 50 to 150 bucks just to get a vibe. You're going to want like a Superman fragrance that is, you're still looking for signatures. Once you have 50 or so fragrances, you're not looking for signature anymore. You're looking for like your personality, nuance, vibe, stuff that money is not a part of. And again, I'm not judging your situation. I don't know how many fragrances you own. You could own just as many fragrances as I do. That's just what my experience. One of my plants is dying. I need to rescue it after this stream. Okay. Thanks for timeouts, boys. Sitting the babies in the timeouts. There you go. So Fendi said Reserve Privé. This is Reserve Privé. This is Givenchy's Gentleman Reserve Privé. Okay. 100 ml. This fragrance is $10 at TJ Maxx right now. They're absolutely flooding the streets. Okay. The bottle sucks, right? They used the same font, though, as Givenchy in the same color bottle. So it's enough of an identifier to know what it's cloning if you know your fragrances. But then it's clearly a clone, right? Typical clone fashion. Trashy upholstery, great juice. You're paying for the juice. Does it smell like Reserve Privé? Like 95% with the exact same performance. When I look at something like this, I think to myself, wow. Like, a lot of people hate on people who do this, right? I don't. You know why? Because I look at Givenchy and I say, wow, your formulation was so easy to make that somebody can bottle it up and put it in a $10 to $15 bottle and still make a profit margin against your product. So it could be a couple of things. Either your formulation isn't that impressive and you need to step it up and give us some new DNA because you're just recycling, which we know Givenchy recycles so much of their DNA over and over and just gives it nuance. But it could also just be that the formulation just is outdated. It's like they didn't put enough effort into the fragrance. So when a clone house can charge $10-15 for a 100 ml bottle and still make a profit margin and get the fragrance 95% close to in this case Reserve Privé, I just look at it like, thank you for saving me so much money on this fragrance. I'm going to buy the clone, and Reserve Privé should essentially lose so much business they need to step up their formulation game or just rely on other fragrances and let that fragrance sell to the niche part of the market of people with money. But this fragrance shouldn't be hassled for it. Now, granted, should they have dressed this up to not look like Privé? Maybe. But then how would you have even bought the bottle if it looked like something else? You wouldn't even have put your nose to it. So, I don't know. I'm a fan of the clones. I think they help the whole market to step their game up. It also equalizes the playing field because it allows people who are broke, which is most of you, to participate in fragrance and experience luxury and nuance at a fraction of the cost. And it also keeps... Guys, fragrances should not cost $80 to $2,000. Most of them should not. Let's just be real, guys. The clone market is showing us this every single day, right? We need to have the margins balance out. And the only way they're going to balance out is when people with big names can't just ticket their items expensively because of their name. Competitors need to enter the market. Straight up and down. Competitors need to enter the market to force these idiots to start upping their game, to start making their fragrances more fairly priced, so rich snobs aren't the only people enjoying this lovely hobby. And, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. Everybody needs to swallow it up. Sophia, appreciate you for your comments. We're going to move on. There's nothing much to really comment on that. Let's see. Messy Go, Prada Homme Intense. I haven't smelled Prada Homme Intense. I've been messing with Prada Heavy though, but I've been messing with Prada Luna Rosa Ocean the most. I just love that nighttime at the beach vibe. I've never smelled that fragrance. Is that an actual fragrance or are you trolling me? That didn't even make sense to me. Yeah, I've never even heard of that line, buddy. Sorry. I own Reserve Privé. Nice smell, but little to no versatility. No reason for 100 ml. Now, see... Fendi, in my opinion, bro, the Iris Seductive DNA is a must-have for any grown man who goes on dates and who spends time with the opposite sex. You must have something along the lines of Reserve Privé or Dior Homme in your collection if you're over 25 and you spend any time with the opposite sex romantically. And for that reason, you need to have a bottle. Do you need 100 ml? Probably not. You might be able to go with the 50, but you at least need a 50 or a travel spray if that's you, because the Iris Dark Seductive Spicy Sweet combo is a killer for women. Women absolutely gravitate to that DNA, it might be top 2 best DNAs that a woman prefers. I might have to throw it in top 3 because we need to go like woody masculine, fresh sweet, and then spicy sweet seduction category to really talk about the key fragrances that have the most draw to a woman. And we see this play out, right? Like Dior Sauvage Elixir, spicy sweet woody, #1 seller. Reserve Privé, #1 seller. Dior Homme, #1 seller. Might even throw Gucci Guilty in there. Prada Luna Rossa Ocean. These all fall into this category. I'm missing some other romantic fragrances. What am I missing? Spice Bomb Extreme. Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. Doesn't matter if you go cheap to expensive, those DNAs are just a part of the fact that you have to get a 50 or 100 is just a part of the game. Now, if you're not dating the opposite sex a ton, JPG as well. If you're not going on dates a lot and stuff, I get it, but as a man, you're at least around the opposite sex a lot. You need to have a dark, spicy, sweet in your bag. You have to, even if it's just a travel spray. You just must. Now, if you're in hot climate and rarely in cold climate, you got no utility for a fragrance like that, or you're not indoors very much. I get it, but I don't know. I'm just kind of talking out of my butt right now. Is the opening harsh at all on this clone? No, listen, any clone I show you guys is not ever going to have harshness. Trust me. This clone, TJ Maxx, 10, 15 bucks. It is Reserve Privé, 0 harshness, 95% close, 10-hour plus fragrance. I don't know how it exists. This is a banger. We'll be talking about it soon on the channel. If you don't prefer the Reserve Privé spicy, sweet, seductive iris, you can always go with Dior Homme or Cayenne Classic. If you like iris, but you want more of a fresh kind of Valentino Uomo Born in Roma feel, you've got Valencia Uomo Intense. This is another $10 TJ Maxx fragrance. You can tell what it's cloning. Valentino Uomo Intense. And it does an insane job. Touch of iris, fresh, tiniest bit of bubble gum, but more so on that fresh, watery by the ocean, Prada Luna Rossa Ocean feel. You know, we can go into this all day. Let's see. We're gonna do one more roll, guys, and then we're gonna sign off. I'm gonna take all last minute questions. This is the last call for all last minute questions. We've been running for an hour and 10 minutes, and I'm getting tired. Coffee barista. Ladies and gentlemen, sound off in the chat with either your last minute questions for me or the fragrance of choice for a barista. I love LV Pacific Chill, but I do not see myself paying the $400 price tag. And why pay it? You know what I'm saying? You could go on TikTok shop right now, and if you've never bought a fragrance on the TikTok shop, they will give you a 45% off coupon for your first purchase on the platform. And you could type LV Pacific Chill, and it will pull up a clone that I think is called Pacific Chill or Pacific Vibe or whatever. Smells just like it, and it'll cost you less than 20 bucks for 120 ml of juice. Pacific Chill is not a fragrance worth getting for 400 bucks. It's just facts. I mean, I have every Louis Vuitton clone you can imagine, and I've smelled the originals. I have a Neiman Marcus very close to me, but I just you will. A lot of those fragrances are fresh fragrances, so they're fragrances you're gonna blast yourself 6 to 10 times with and re-spritz at the end of the day because they're so good. So you're gonna burn through the bottles fast. It's not gonna justify the 400 purchase unless you're a baller. If you're a baller, to each his own. It's like real talk. It's like a fashion replica or a high-end fake Rolex. Exactly. Shout outs Hey Yo Maine. He's talking with some common sense. AB the Menace says Trump. Okay. I spent so much on Nishane Hasavat, but I don't think I love the scent. The reason you don't think you love the scent is because you are confused about this note right here. I'm going to tell you personally that I thought I loved Creed Aventus until I tried Nishane's Hasavat. And I'm going to tell you why. This is what separates men from younger men and boys, and it's not a bad thing. There's different things about a man that differentiates him in age and in personality. The note that many people can't get past with Hasavat is this note right here. Oak moss. There is so much oak moss in Hasavat, it's not even funny. It is Creed Aventus with ramped up oak moss and dialed back citrus and wood. That moss gives such a rich, almost dark, earthy freshness to the fragrance that many men are uncomfortable with. As an older man, you smell woods and citrus all the time, so it's like you appreciate the earthy nuance because it adds another layer of depth. Like whatever richness Creed Aventus made you smell like, I don't care if it's Cologne, Aventus Absolute, Creed Aventus, whatever luxury you thought you had in Creed Aventus, Nishane, the guy wearing the Nishane next to Creed Aventus, looks and smells richer than the guy wearing the Creed Aventus. If we could age appropriate the fragrances from a financial standpoint, a 30-year-old multimillionaire would wear Creed Aventus like Drake. And Drake's admitted he wears Creed Aventus. 40-year-old Drake will wear Nishane. Because it's a been there and done that. Nishane tickles the nose in just a different... It has the layers, but then takes it even further as if it didn't even need it. But that oak moss note, if it's too bothersome, I would just recommend sell your fragrance. Many people will gladly take Nishane off your shoulders, or Hasavat off of your shoulders. It's an extremely popular fragrance. It's in high demand. Everybody loves it. Trade somebody who has Creed Aventus, or sell your fragrance on a Facebook marketplace group. Make sure they pay you up front, and then go cop some Creed Aventus. Absolute, Cologne, EDP, whatever. You will like it more than Nishane Hasavat if the oak moss is too much for you, because Creed Aventus is Hasavat with zero oak moss. Tom Ford Noir Extreme is so good. Wish there was a good replica. There is. This to me, even though it's not 100% a replica of Tom Ford Noir Extreme, it's close enough. And I know this because I've put my nose to Noir Extreme many times. This is closer to Spice Bomb Extreme. I would say it's about 60 to 70% Spice Bomb Extreme, 30 to 40% Noir Extreme by Tom Ford in combination. It's both of them together. But I have to be fully transparent and say that this leans a little more Spice Bomb Extreme than Tom Ford Noir. Noir kind of ramps up this kind of, I don't know if it's suede or leather or something, but it kind of is a little more manly. But this still will tackle the job without question. This will give you the same feeling that Noir Extreme gives you without question. For $20, this is Odyssey Homes Eau de Parfum Black Edition. When you put this to your nose, it will be love at first sight. You will get Tom Ford vibes. You will get Spice Bomb Extreme vibes. And you will absolutely come back on this stream and thank me. Okay. No, no, bro. Nishane Hasavat is absolutely beast mode. Absolutely. Spray that thing like 6 times on skin, not on clothes, and put your arm to your nose at the end of the day. So I don't want to say you got a fake one, but if you didn't buy your Hasavat in a Neiman Marcus or on an online retailer, then you highly likely. If you like iris and a bit of leather, Prada L'Homme Intense is a must. I will definitely take that down. Iris is one of my favorite notes, and Prada L'Homme Intense is it's been some years since I put my nose to it, and that's pretty much the last fragrance in terms of iris that I don't actually own a bottle of. So I will definitely be jumping into that for sure. I'd reach for Le Male Elixir or Gucci Guilty over Reserve Privé. You're not wrong, Fendi. I mean, here's the thing, man. I always say Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances is our boy toy fragrances. Having said that, though, I think Le Male Elixir is the least boy toy fragrance out of the bunch. You know, it's more honey. It's just dialed back in sweetness, so it allows for a little more masculine vibes to come through. So I'm not even hating on Le Male Elixir. In fact, let's see. Where is it? Do I have it? Um, Well, you'll just have to believe me. I have Le Male Elixir over in my collection. I don't know where I put it, but I was just doing a review. We just did a review on Le Male Elixir, didn't we? Women seeking companionship. Okay. Videos. Yeah, we just did a video on Le Male Elixir. I know it just dropped like 12 hours ago, but you guys got to remember, if we look in the queue, let me just put you guys on game. Let's go to manage videos. I mean, look how many episodes you guys haven't even seen yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 fragrances you guys haven't even seen. And really it's 10, 11 because these two drop tomorrow. Or no, they drop Friday. So I'm living in the future a little bit. So I forgot we just recently dropped that episode. But yeah, by the way, Latafa Kawa is, you cheated, Addy. Addy, you cheated. That is the perfect fragrance for a barista. Absolutely. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, like I said, I'm not hating Fendi on Le Male Elixir. I think if you're gonna rock JPG fragrances, Le Male Elixir is the only one I really salute. Gucci Guilty, I think, as well. And here's the thing, bro. If you don't absolutely love Iris, no Iris fragrance will be in your mind at all to purchase. You won't think about Dior Homme, Intense or Parfum. You won't think about Reserve Privé. You won't think about Valentino Uomo. You won't think about Givenchy. You know what I'm saying? These fragrances mean nothing to you because they're so dominant Iris forward. If you don't love that, you're not even going to think much about that entire line. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you don't like the marine aquatic that Gio Armani provides, you won't like anything from the line because it's just so forward with that. But, so I don't think Gucci Guilty and Le Male Elixir, I think are great options. For me, you smell like you're 20 years old when you wear them. But that's just me. My opinion means nothing. All right, we're going to close out soon. I'm just going to look at some last minute stuff. Appreciate you mods watching the babies for me. Barista Amore or Montal Intense Cafe. Ooh. Look at Fendi putting me on to new stuff. I do not like the color of that bottle. Okay, it makes sense. Rose, vanilla. But it's got coffee in it, so you can't hate. What about Barista Amore? Rose and coffee. I'm interested. I'm here for it. Is this just not a fragrance? Oh, Amore Cafe. Oh, you just wrote barista just so I could see it. Okay, gotcha. Mancera Paris Amore. Amore Cafe. Good grief. Okay. Great choice. Great choice. A lot of good choices out there. I love Latafakawa. I think it's better than Kamra. It's closer to Angel Share, but with that added note of coffee, it definitely would be a super good choice. Shout outs to Barista Amore and Montal Intense as well. Those look like some dope bangers with some nuance to them that I haven't put my nose to yet. Patchouli oil and weed smoke. That's hilarious. I don't think that would be a barista. A lot of baristas smoke weed, but patchouli oil would be a different level of detailed for a barista. It's possible, though. I definitely could see it. That would be a very specific barista that you know by name. Coach Green thoughts. I get a sour candy smell, Irish Spring dry bar soap. You know, I just did a review of Coach Green. I really, at the first blast, you're like, whoa, this is interesting. But then you're like, I just kind of get a sour apple smell that dries down into less of it. I don't think Coach Green is worth the money. Like, when I smell Coach Green, the opening blast, I'm really interested in it. But as seconds go by, it just becomes so like... The way that fragrance dries down is just so lackluster. I would never buy a bottle of it. But I like what they tried to do. Like, I'd like to see them increase the performance and maybe mess with some more natural notes instead of that like synthetic green. Because right now it just comes off like green apple candy. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it tries to be clean. It's not. I agree with your assessment completely in terms of what it smells like. But it's for that reason I don't really like it. I want it to be good though. I want to buy my first cologne, and I am a teen, and my budget is $150. All right, Yashash. This is what I want you to do, buddy. And I want you to listen closely, very closely. What you're going to do, and please listen to my advice. This is the best advice you're ever going to receive. I want you to go to Fragrance by CA. FragranceBy.ca. It's a Canadian retail store that ships to wherever you are located. And then you're going to go to your local perfume store. And you're going to smell all the samples. You are going to sample everything at your local store. I don't care if it's a JC Penney or a Sephora, preferably something like an Ulta Beauty where you can smell like 20 fragrances. And you're going to go into those stores and you're going to sample everything. Everything you're going to smell. So you could start wrapping your nose around what stuff smells like. And if you find anything that you kind of like, you're going to type in your phone the name of that fragrance. Okay, Mercedes-Benz Intense. Oh, okay. Gucci Guilty. Okay. Acqua di Gio. And you're going to write that down in your phone. And you write down every name of every fragrance that you absolutely love. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to Fragrance Buy and you're going to type it in. And you're going to notice that every fragrance you love already is being sold at a fraction of the cost of what you would spend in the retail store. Oftentimes more than 50 to 75% of the actual fragrance cost. And as you can see, it's showing you the cut in the price. And you're going to take that $150, instead of only being able to get one fragrance like a YSL-Y or a La Nuit de L'Homme or a L'Homme or a Gucci Guilty or a YSL Myself. You're going to take that $150 and you're going to get 4 or 5 100 ml large bottles of 5 fragrances that you absolutely love with that $150. Now, here's the thing. If you stick with name brand, you're probably only going to be able to get 2 or 3 100 ml fragrances that you loved in the Sephora or wherever you shopped and tested the fragrances out. But if you're willing to take it a step further and say, okay, I loved Gucci Guilty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to YouTube and type Gucci Guilty Best Clone. Oh, what do you know? Our boy BT Sense has did a first impression on a clone that is cloning Gucci Guilty. So then you could look at that and say, oh, Sator Ta. Did he say it was amazing? Okay, if he did, let's go back to Fragrance by CA and type it in. Do they carry it? They do. At a fraction of the cost. And you're going to add all these to your cart and you're going to check out. And you're either going to get 2 to 300 ml name brand fragrances for $150, or if you get the clones of those fragrances that you loved, you're probably going to run out of here with about 5 to 600 ml large bottles of fragrances that you absolutely love. And you're not just going to have one fragrance on your shelf, but you're going to have 3 to 6 fragrances on your shelf. And you're going to run over here and be like, yo, I can't believe for $150, I was about to go buy 100 ml of a fragrance that was okay, but instead you got me to get 3 to 6 banger fragrances that will last me well through high school, probably well through college, and I only had to spend $150. I don't have to spend a single dollar on fragrance ever again because you put me on game. That's what you're going to do. Any last minute questions? Mont Blanc Legend, Spirit for Summer. I love Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. I think it's the least harsh out of the bunch. I have $150 to $200 fragrances, and Legend Spirit is my dumb reach in the summer, very youthful. I don't blame you. Mont Blanc Legend Spirit is a great fragrance. In fact, what we're doing soon here is just to get back in touch with the people. I recently got a holiday batch of all the top fragrances that men are wearing today. Right? I bought this for $40. Came with a $15 gift card. It's got Carolina Herrera, Bad Boy Cobalt, Azzaro, The Most Wanted, Acqua di Gio Armani, Dolce & Gabbana K, Paco Rabanne 1 Million, Prada Luna Rosa Ocean, something from Noise, Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, Mont Blanc Legend Blue, Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir, Givenchy Gentleman's Society, Ralph Lauren Polo 67, Versace Eros, Victor and Roll Spice Bomb Extreme, Yves Saint Laurent Myself, and Yves Saint Laurent Y. So I got all these in this package, right? And we're just going to show some love to the community that wears a lot of these, you know, name brand fragrances. That these are fragrances you guys always see when you're in the store. And we're going to do full reviews on them. I'm going to tell you if there's something in the cologne world that you need to be considering overwasting your money on these fragrances. Or I'm going to tell you if that fragrance is worth its purchase. And then we're also just going to enjoy the fragrances as well. So even though I have preferences, I have my opinion, I share it passionately on my channel. I'm not an expert. I'm just a man on a journey, and I share it with you. I always tap in with the community and see what you guys are into. I like to know where my nose stands with the community. I like to know what you guys are smelling, what you guys are enjoying, and ultimately providing you guys content that is just as helpful to me as it is you, or just as helpful to you as it is me. So I hope you guys benefit from that. We're going to tap into that and touch on something like 20 fragrances that everybody wears. And that's not just the only ones. I mean, we got a ton of them. If I can't point my camera because it's a DSLR, but is there any way I can show my webcam? Let me see. We're gonna close on this, but if I can show my webcam, this will be cool. Create new. That can't be it. No. Give me a second, guys. I'm new to the vertical streaming. Video capture, webcam, Sparko. Let's do wet. Okay. So here's what without my DSLR camera, with all the lights and everything on me. So you guys can see that, right? Quickly type yeses in the chat if you guys see this picture. Because if you guys can see it, we're gonna I'll show you guys just the amount of fragrance just sitting around. Let's see, YSLY or YSL or Bleu de Chanel if you can get up to the budget, but I find them more unsuitable personally for the very hot summers. I don't know, man. I think YSL, a lot of YSL fragrances can't be worn. They're more cold weather fragrances, but Bleu de Chanel for sure is a any season, any reason fragrance. But if you're into fragrance, it can't do everything for you, but it is very fresh. Okay, so since you guys can see this, I'm going to have to look down. It's going to look crazy. But let's just see if I can do this. So everything in here is dirty. I just got back from New Orleans. Let's see if I can like actually take you guys on a journey with my webcam. I doubt it because it won't. Will this work? Okay. So here we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. Over here we've got 16, 7, 16, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24. Like, there's just stuff laying back there. And then we've got that rack, like a 4-panel rack that has probably about another 40 fragrances sitting on that. Then if you guys look at that bin right there, that orange bin, there's like well over 150 fragrances. And if you look on that shelf, I can't even zoom in, but even on that shelf next to the rack, there's like another 20 fragrances. And then if we turn around in my studio, these back shelves over here are racks of fragrances as well. And there's about 30 fragrances on each rack over here. You know, we got random fragrances sitting everywhere, you know. So, you know, then on my desk here, we've got a bunch of samples I'm going to be covering. So it's like, I got to clean up in here, guys. I just got back from being out of town. We did some remodeling in the studio. Well, You guys can't really tell because it's so dirty in here. But I'm going to be shooting content back there. So we're going to be doing some like live stuff. I got to get my massage chair off of there. So it'll be more like, sitting at the couch with the scent bubble type vibes. But, there's just a ton of stuff that we're going to get into soon. Okay. Any legit website for buying cologne fragrances in Australia? Well, when you say website and then Australia, I'm going to clarify. If you're in Australia and you want a legit website outside Australia that could ship to Australia, fragrancebuy.ca is going to be your cheapest option with the highest inventory. There actually I don't know if Fragrance by CA ships to Aussie. This is what I want you to do. Go to my boy BT Scents. BT Scents. Ah, shoot. Always does this. BT Scents. Go to my boy BT Scents. Go to his community page or to one of his videos. Watch a video and then type, hey, what's the best website to get if I'm in Australia? He knows the name of the best Aussie website for purchasing fragrances. Because I don't think Fragrance by CA, which will probably be the best, is going to ship to Australia. So try that. What's a fragrance you wear that boosts your confidence? Ooh, so many, man. So many. Shoot. Amir, so let's do this. We'll end on this, guys. Let's go to Fragrantica so you guys can get good pictures. So Celestial is like my, I don't want to say it's my personality because I'm multifaceted, but Ganymede, clone, Celestial, huge confidence booster. I love knowing no one else in the room is going to smell like that. Absolutely love that. Another like sleeper fragrance that I love wearing is Ecus from Lalique. Love amber and vetiver on woods. This is an insane sleeper of a fragrance. Hyper masculine, rich, ambery, almost boozy seductive, but not boozy at all. It's got this warm, spicy vibe that it's going for. The best vetiver fragrance in the entire Lalique line, in my opinion. Confidence boosters. Bentley Absolute. Acqua di Gio Profumo. Halloween Man Shot. Sexy fragrance. Confidence booster. I'll tell you one that I've been wearing to work lately. Shout outs to Darian, the Bowtie fragrance guy. Mont Blanc Presence. This heliotrope note. You won't smell another fragrance like this. You can get it for $25 right now at Burlington. This is a CEO fragrance. I don't rock with a ton of Mont Blanc. I probably only rock with 3 Mont Blancs out of everything they sell, and this is one of them. What other fragrances? Confidence boosters. I love some Tom Ford, standard Tom Ford Noir. I love some stuff in the Parfums de Marly Sedley. I like Sedley a lot. What else can I tell you guys? Confidence booster, even something simple like Terre de Hermes EDT. That can be a mood lifter for sure. Creed, Silver Mountain Water. Love that. I mean, there's just so many for so many different reasons. I just found a cheapie the other day, Ferragamo's Bright Leather, a $30 50 ml that is probably one of the only leather fragrances you can wear in super high heat. It's probably one of the best high heat leather fragrances ever. And I'm very critical of leather fragrances. What else? YSL Tuxedo. Another confidence booster. Just puts me in a zone. Bentley for Men Black Edition. Mercedes-Benz Intense. I mean, there's so many, bro. There's literally so many. Tom Ford Black Orchid. That's a sleeper. Acqua di Gio Profumo. I think I might have already said that. There's a lot, bro. MFK Grand Soir. I mean, shoot. We could do this all day. And in theory, every fragrance boosts my confidence. MFK Oud Satin Mood. It just depends what type of vibe I'm going for. Any vibe ups my mood, though. Any fragrance I put on, that I wear. I only wear stuff I love. Freaking Elysium. Roja Parfums Elysium. Confidence booster. It depends what type of confidence I'm having. Confidence with my girl. Confidence in the workplace. Confidence when I'm running errands. Louis Vuitton Imagination. Confidence booster. La Corday. What is that La Corday fragrance? La Corday fragrance. Montclair's La Corday. Lemon tea. For the rich. You know what I'm saying? Wulong Cha. I mean, if we want to talk confidence, we could go, I mean, we could literally sit here all day, bro. Dior Homme 2010, huge confidence. I mean, there's just so many, bro. I mean, I'm trying to dip in and out of like clone to name brand to niche. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for rocking with me in the scent bubble. I appreciate you guys so much. It's not even funny. For those of you who aren't, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I am the Scent Bubble. This is my channel. After we're done with this live, we're going to post it live so you guys can re-access this content. There's videos being posted every single day. I work a lot on the thumbnails so that they're helpful for you. Put some entertainment value on them as well. We just have endless amounts of videos covering just hundreds of fragrances. I have a convenient playlist where you guys can see my hot takes, my lives, my game show appearances, quick fragrance tips, my reels, reviews, and guides. Very conveniently, if you want to watch them all at the same time, you can conveniently search for fragrances. We're about to approach 1,000 subscribers, and we will hit that this week. So I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Also, make sure you check out the community page where I'm constantly talking about fragrances that I'm wearing or finding in stores. We just recently hit our 100,000 views marker, so I'm very thankful. I talk about what's hitting the rack stores, as you can see, Neroli Woods Midnight Hour. There's other stuff I see, Bentley for Men Absolute hitting Burlington, decent pickups that I get, holiday gift sets, when I drop episodes, just everything, guys. It's just, I put a lot of time into my content, and I appreciate anybody for tuning in. Thank you for those of you who have stayed all throughout the stream. I really appreciate you guys. Any additional questions that you have, leave them in the chat on this page or the community page, and I will chat back. There's not a single person that comments on my page that I don't respond to. So I appreciate you guys for rocking with the Scent Bubble. Make sure you like this video to let the algorithm know we did our job tonight. Turn on your notification bell so you get notified every morning when we drop our episodes, which is pretty much every day at this point. And y'all be blessed. Thank you so much for tuning in. I almost looked at that camera right there. You're rocking with the Scent Bubble.